So for those of you who don't know me, I am Nicole Purvy. I'm a toddler mom. That's me and my little guy. I'm a real estate developer. I'm an investor. I'm a general contractor, author, and podcaster. And I know everyone likes to tell these stories about how they went from rags to riches in 3 weeks. It did not take me 3 weeks. It took me 4 years to actually pull the trigger on my first deal. I studied and I researched and I watched as many YouTube videos as possible, and I just really couldn't get to my first deal. I bought courses, I joined memberships, and it didn't work. And I looked at hundreds of deals before I finally bought my first property. And so, granted, yeah, there's lessons to be learned in that 4 years. I'm grateful for that time. But the reality is I'm here to help shorten that time frame for you, because 4 years is a long time. And some of us don't got 4 years. We got to make this thing happen ASAP. So I'm here to share as digestibly as possible, right? So you can digest it and duplicate all the things that I've done through trial and error, some through learning lessons through BTS, so that you can shorten this time frame and you can get into your first deals or your next deals as quickly as possible, and like really still have a full life. Because as we're going to see, it's really difficult to have a job. It's really difficult to have a family and then also invest in real estate. So we're going to talk about that. Here is my portfolio. I like to show off some pictures. This is some pictures of my portfolio. Yes, these are all my real properties. And here are some other pictures too of my portfolio. Just FYI, all this junk is off the steps. We got some amazing new tenants in there, in that property right there. So that junk is in there. But just a couple of pictures of my portfolio of my properties that I own in Philadelphia. And I live here in Southern California. I live in the South Bay area. Okay. So how it all got started back in 2015, here I am standing in my original office. I used to have a digital marketing agency, and I actually had staff. That guy in the back is one of my staff members. I ran a digital marketing agency and I had staff. It was great, have people there all day, every day. But I'm going to be honest with you, like, it was massively expensive and it was really stressful. Not stressful because the employees were stressful. I feel like I'm a good leader in that way. They were probably the least amount of stress that anybody can ask for. Didn't they come with problems? Sure. But it was just stressful because it was expensive. It was massively expensive. And so I was just plugging along. And then I thought to myself, like, hey, I think back then I actually tried to hire some VAs. I just thought about some really terrible experiences that I had. I tried to hire some VAs back then. I bought a couple of books on hiring VAs and saw some guys in the digital marketing world, the influencer world, talking about VAs. And it just did not work for me, like, at all. Like, I bombed horribly multiple times during this time period of finding virtual assistants. And so that's why I just landed on this whole option of working with people in person. Okay. So fast forward from 2015 to 2020, 5 years later, this is me when I first had my son. And up until that point, from 2015 to 2020, I had just decided that virtual assistants weren't for me, and all of my staff was in person. And so when I had my son, that changed everything. Let me know in the chat if you got a kid, and when you had a kid, you realized that it changed everything for you. If you can relate to me and understand what I'm saying, it changed everything. And not to mention this was COVID, but I didn't have the capacity, even if it wasn't COVID, to hire in-person staff members at all. I did not have the capacity mentally, emotionally. And Eddie said, none that I know of, knock, knock, oh Lord. I didn't have the capacity mentally and emotionally to manage people in an office every day. And also it was COVID happening outside. And so I had to really say, okay, listen, I got to hire some VAs, and I'm not going to do it the way that I did it before. I'm going to go through an agency, and I'm going to find an agency, some people that I really respect. And I interviewed them, and I said, I'm going to go through an agency, and this is how I'm going to do things, because I cannot do it. Like Odara's like, she understands. We have 2 kiddos. Time ain't on my side. I have more things to do than time. Amen. It gets real in the field when you have a kid. Okay. So I had to make this VA thing work. It was either sink or swim for me. Right. And so you guys already know that I hired Irish, and here she is on this training. And y'all know y'all probably have never, ever seen me virtually or in person, and I have not talked about Iris. She is like a family member to me now. And she is my virtual assistant. We also have another virtual assistant, Carlene. You guys, if you're a member, you've seen Carlene's name. Carlene is also like a family member to me. I really care about these 2 people, and they helped save my life. Okay. So before we go in, I want to give some preface. Who this presentation is for. This presentation is for people with a life's purpose outside of their 9 to 5. If you feel like your 9 to 5 is your life's purpose and you don't want to do anything else, this presentation is not for you, because a VA may not really help you. This is for people who believe that American grind culture is designed to strip you of your mental health. This is a saying that I coined, that American grind culture, like the way that our lives are designed in America, it is intentionally designed to strip you of your mental health. The reason that it's intentionally designed to strip you of your mental health is because if you are mentally exhausted, then you do not want to build wealth through real estate. You don't have the mental capacity to do it. And so this culture is designed in such a way to keep you mentally bogged down. And we're going to talk about that today. How is it designed to keep you mentally, emotionally, spiritually bogged down so that you don't focus on your purpose? And so if this is you, if you believe this, say me. If you're like, hey, no, I love my job, and I think that American grind culture is on my side, and I don't want anything outside of my 9 to 5, you can say, Nicole, goodbye, and you can leave. You are excused. But if you feel like this is you, say me in the chat, please. Let me know in the chat. What's up, everyone, as you guys are coming in here. I appreciate you late comers. Thank you, James. James said me. If you attend, thank you, Odada. I was going to say, if you already said me to this multiple times, because y'all probably see this slide multiple times, I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me know in the chat if this is you. I want to hear some more me's. If you're not sure, don't worry. I'm going to show you how it's not designed for you to win. Okay. All right. So I wanted to include this slide. I thought long and hard about this. This is me and my baby, me and my nugget the other day. And we started this new ritual. I live very close to the beach, literally walking distance from the beach. It's 1.1 miles. And we started this little ritual where we've been walking to the beach. It's a taco truck. So we get out, we walk to the taco truck, which is a nice little hike. Then we go down to the sand, and then we walk back, and then we walk up. Because the area where we walk is like elevated. You can see how high it is from the water. And so here's the thing that people don't talk about. You know, I don't think they put enough emphasis on in terms of being a parent. You don't realize that you have this new stress of not only taking care of this kid, but being a good parent. And being a good parent, to me, more than anything, is 2 things that are very important to me. of being a good mom. And every day I'm questioning myself, am I being a good mom? Two things that are very important to me. One, I make sure that he is raised in a psychologically healthy environment, right? We're all go through this life with issues, but I like to tell people, JD's gonna have, if he gonna have issues, it's not gonna be, did my mama love me? And did my mama protect me? You can make up whatever issue you want, but it ain't gonna be my mama didn't love me. So I try to do everything I can to make sure that he is psychologically, emotionally healthy. And the other thing is, I am trying my hardest. This is my definition of being a good parent, is making sure that he has a head start in life. And I don't mean a head start like I want to spoil him. I mean a head start that he doesn't have to start from scratch. I would feel like my life is in vain if my son had to start from scratch. And so this is how I measure my quality of being a mom. I'm sure if I sat down on some therapist couch, they would tell me I was wrong and all that, but this is how I measure it. And so I want to just raise the stakes here. Like a lot of you are here because you're like, oh, this is a great topic. I want to learn about how to hire a VA. Yes, this sounds interesting, but I want to raise the stakes here. In order for you to live in America and be subject to this American grind culture, by some way, some means, we are all a part of this American grind culture. In order for you to do this and make sure that you leave something to your child so they are not starting from scratch, because the Bible says a good man leaves inheritance to his children's children, okay? Good man or woman, we're assuming that it means woman as well, right? If this is something that we're going to do, then you need to have support. This is why I'm raising the stakes, because this VA conversation is not just a conversation of, oh, it's cute, I have someone working for me. This is a conversation about, hey, in order for me to be a good parent, in order for me to be a good steward, whether you are auntie or uncle or whatever, you're leaving inheritance to the next generation. You have to have help. We're going to see why in a minute. Because if you think you can do this without help, you are fooling yourself, and we're going to see why in a minute. Okay? All right. Let me know in the chat if you feel me on this whole thing I have about being a good mom. Chat me up. Say, I feel you, Nicole. What's up, everyone? I see a bunch of familiar names. I love you all for coming out and hanging out with me tonight. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. All right, so this is technically one of our member events. I'm just letting you non-members get a peek in. So y'all know how we do. Every time we do a member event, we have to read off our core values because I'm brainwashing you, period, point blank. I'm just letting you know I'm brainwashing you. And I am also a mother, not only to my child, but I'm a mother to better than success. And so I feel responsible how you guys present yourselves out in this world. So I have to make sure that you are brainwashed with our family core values. So let's go through these really quickly. BTS core value number 1, courage. League members must have the courage to make the necessary sacrifices to positively and permanently impact the lives of their family as well as their own life. Number 2, integrity. League members must do business in the marketplace with the highest level of integrity, even when no one is looking. Core value number 3, stewardship. League members know that the resources they are entrusted with are not their own, but rather they belong to a higher power, and we are simply stewards over said resources. Number 4, strategy. League members do not make investment decisions without a clear and defined strategy. Number 5, legacy and love. Each league member is always motivated by a why that's always bigger than the individual member and always rooted in leaving wealth to their children's children. Number 6, begin with the league. League members understand that we are stronger together. Therefore, we prioritize doing business with each other whenever possible. Number 7, adventure. League members understand that the journey to success is an adventure with ups and downs, so we might as well have fun while on the ride. And last but not least, number 8, gratitude. All league members are grateful for all large and small successes, opportunities, resources, and blessings. We are even grateful for failures because we know that every failure comes with a valuable lesson. Okay? Yes, I am brainwashing you, period, point blank. Okay, so let's get back and talk about this whole problem of you investing in real estate with while living in America, right? We've got this thing that I've coined American grind culture. So here are a number of responsibilities you may have: the kids, your partner, work, commute time, overtime, your part-time job, church, gym, maybe you have a hobby, meetups with your squad, your friends, me time, Target runs, the infamous Target runs, Whole Food runs, date night, social media. Listen, I'll be deleting this app because even if I post, it turns into a 2-hour venture, okay? 2 hours in a 24-hour day, I don't know if you realize that's 10% of your day, okay? Not including sleep, okay? Like not calculating the fact that, you know, you got 8 hours that's dedicated to sleep, so it's more than 10% of your day. Extended family, meditation. I started these meditations that take an hour. I really enjoy them. I see a change in me as a person, but they take a whole entire hour. Your side hustle. Okay. How many people have a good amount of these things that they're doing every single solitary week? I need to get some response from you guys. Let me know in the chat. I'm now moving on until you respond. Yes, Odada said me, her. Who else? Ryan said me. It's important that you comment here because I need us to be on the same page about something. And it'll help answer some questions that you've been stressing yourself out about right now. I'm about to relieve you of a whole bunch of stress. Ming said, yes, me too. James said me. Who else? Who don't have these things? You must be rich with a rich spouse and a nanny and maid and a personal assistant. Terry said me. Awesome. Ming, I'm always exhausted and overwhelmed. I want y'all to know something. I know I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist, right? Let me tell y'all a story real quick. I'm going to say probably like maybe year 5 of being an entrepreneur. I think by this time, that's when I was like, I got business insurance, right? Y'all know you haven't been an entrepreneur, you don't have business insurance for a long time. Then you're like, okay, maybe I'm really doing this thing. I'm gonna get some business insurance. And I think by the time I started getting business insurance and I hired a bookkeeper and I was like, running a business is like way more. It's not just the running the business. It's the millions of ways that money is siphoned out of your account. Like it's insane. If you have any business, you're just spending at least off the top and you want to like run it properly, you spend at least $5,000. Any business. That's any business between your accountant, your insurance, your bookkeeping, your, whatever. And then when I realized it, I'm like, this is not designed for us to win. And then I started thinking about American grind culture. Okay. It is not designed for you to get ahead. Is intentionally, I will even submit to you that it is intentionally designed for you not to get ahead. So when you feel exhausted and overwhelmed, do not feel bad. Like I know when I used to feel exhausted and overwhelmed, I used to feel bad, like I'm not managing my time properly. Like I'm doing something wrong. And the reality is that is not the truth. Let's just look at a couple of these things, okay? So if you have a 9 to 5, that's 8 hours. Okay, so you're awake for 16 hours of the day, right? So 8 of it is gone from your job. So now you're left with 8 hours a day left in your day. Okay, if you're a woman, it's going to take you 2 hours to get dressed. Let's keep it a bean. Maybe an hour. Let's say it's an hour. An hour to get dressed. So that's 7 hours. All right, for food, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, let's take away two hours. between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. One of them is going to be like a little 30-minute. One of them will be another hour, and another one's going to be an hour. Okay, so that's 5 hours left. If you go to the gym, which is massively important, that's 2 hours. That's 3 hours left in your day. Hey, guess what you haven't done yet? You haven't even commuted yet. A lot of people got a half an hour commute time. So now we're down to 2 hours. We haven't even spent time with our kids yet. Okay. God forbid you got a hobby. God forbid you got a part-time job. God forbid you trying to invest in real estate. God forbid we didn't even talk about having a boo or a partner. And we didn't even get to some of the extra stuff like extended family, time with your friends, me time. Like during that day that I just explained to you, which is basic stuff that you're doing through the day, that's not even you. Like you haven't even sat down to breathe yet. So do y'all see what I'm saying? How the way this thing is set up, it is designed to keep you exhausted and overwhelmed. And guess what that leads to? Mental health breakdowns. Oh, you got mental health breakdown? You got to see a therapist. When you going to have time to see a therapist? Okay? And so I need you to understand that if you are going to do your life the way that you are doing your life right now, for the rest of your life, trying to jam all these things into this little bit of time that is not possible to do, like you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, it's not possible to do. You're not going to be able to get to the extra stuff that you've been trying to do to achieve your goals. You're not going to be able to get there. It's literally impossible. Okay? So then where is the time for wealth building, right? Like y'all know I've been talking real estate for the past 6-7 years on social media. A lot of you guys have been following me along the journey. Y'all been rocking out with me since the beginning of the time. Where are we going to have time to do that? And the reality is it's not designed for you to have time to do it. It's just not. If you want to plug into the matrix, it's not designed. And it's not a matter of the people who actually do it. It's not a matter of them being super duper 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 special, which some of them are, but it's a matter of some of them figuring out that, hey, the way that I'm trying to jam a bunch of things into this little teeny bucket, it's impossible. I got to think outside the box. And them just being able to free up more of their time is probably 90% of the reason why they win. Okay? Let me know if you're clocking me. All right, so we got to do all these other things, but we also got to figure out some time for wealth building, right? Remember, that's part of being a good mom or a good auntie or a good uncle, okay? If you're not thinking about the next generations, a good man leaves wealth to his children's children. If you're not thinking about the next generations, technically you're not a good man or a good woman. All right. Y'all love this place, don't y'all? Let me know in the chat if you love Target. Y'all love this place. Look, they got a Starbucks right at all the Targets. Like, listen, we want you hopped up on caffeine and spending all your bread. What if I told you, even though we love Target, James said, yes, it's so funny to me how many men, I think that's why Target wins so much, because typically women are the ones who love to shop. It's funny to me how many men love Target. And so they're like, listen, women, y'all easy. If we can get the men to like this place, so they probably design it with the men in mind. So anyways, what if I told you that you can solve this lack of time issue for the cost of a trip to Target? Like, as much as we love this place, this is probably the only shade of red that doesn't give me anxiety. They've even mastered the shade of red. As much as we love this place, if we could just not do one of the Target runs per week, per month, right? If we're going to Target every week, if we could just like figure out how to not do one of the runs, you could solve this problem and not feel exhausted and overwhelmed all the time. Here is the biggest dichotomy that I don't understand a lot of people do. You go to work every day for your 9 to 5 and work 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 an hour, but you go home and do $10 an hour tasks. That is absolutely insane to me. So you're probably wondering, what are $10 an hour tasks? I'm going to get to that. Let me tell y'all a real quick story that outlines a $10 an hour task. My best friend, I would love to have put a picture of my best friend on here, but I did not, because the story is kind of private. So have a best friend, love this person to pieces. They ended up getting really, 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 really sick. And it was someone's responsibility to call around to a bunch of super specialist doctors to get the ball rolling on rectifying this situation. And I just so happened to have just had my child. So for those of you who have ever been around a newborn, y'all know that newborns are literally helpless. And I was running a business, okay? And to sit down and find 2-3 hours to carve out for finding a specialist was just something that was very, very difficult for me. But it was also of the utmost importance for me. Finding a specialist, this is an example of a $10 an hour task. So here I am working every day for hundreds of dollars an hour. And then when I'm off work, I am expected as a human being to do a $10 an hour task. So do you know who called and found the specialist? My VA. You get it. How does it make sense for me to, even though these tasks are important, it doesn't make sense for me to do things that are $100 an hour tasks, 9 to 5, but then as soon as 5 o'clock comes around, my time is valued less. Okay. So I was able to still take care of my son, run my business, and take care of my friend. So when we talk about hiring these VAs, we're going to talk about technical versus non-technical VAs. We're going to first focus on technical VAs, and we're going to speak very little about, we're going to first focus on non-technical VAs, because non-technical VAs can help you do a lot. I have non-technical VAs. And then technical VAs, we'll talk a little bit about the end. But for the majority of this, we're going to talk about non-technical VAs, because I don't want to overwhelm you. I don't want to make you feel like this is something that you have to be a super specialist at, or you have to be ready to hire a specialist. No, this is for you everyday, regular situations. I want to say everyday people, because either we all are everyday people or nobody's everyday people. I don't like the everyday. I don't like that term. Okay. All right. So when you hire, so this class is all about hiring and managing. I named it How to Hire and Manage Your VAs. We're going to start with the second part first, the managing part, and then we're going to go backwards and talk about the hiring part, because that part is a little bit more complex, right? Getting your VA is harder than, once you get the VA, then, you guys rock off into the sunset. So when you get a VA, in order for you to find time to build wealth, the best place to start with your VA is your personal task. You are a business. I named a bunch of things that you have to do in order to survive. What does that make you a business? Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. So are you. I'm not a businesswoman, I'm a businesswoman. Okay. So here are some things that you are going to have your VA do right from the start. This is, if you're starting your real estate business and you don't really have a whole bunch of tasks for your VA yet in real estate, that's fine. Remember, you are a businesswoman, you are a businessman. Okay. So you got more than enough staff to hand off. So let's go through these really quickly. Some of you probably already skimmed it. You screenshot it, please. Scheduling meetings, meeting confirmations, travel planning, expense reports. Yes, you are a business. You should be having expense reports for your personal life. I got a whole complex spreadsheet. Inbox management. This I do not do, but I know people who don't even check their own emails. I probably should do it because I'm not going to lie to y'all. I have literally 193,000 in unopened emails in my across my email inboxes. Okay. If I had someone to manage it, I wouldn't be looking at that number, but I just happen to be one of those people that looking at that number doesn't bother me. I don't even notice it till today. Okay. Data entry. If you have spreadsheets or different things that you use to run your life, this can be automatically entered. Budget management. Any sort of administrative work, like I just gave you the example of looking for specialists, doctor specialists. Social media. Some of you love social media, but y'all just don't have time. Like I said, anytime I post, it turns into a 2-hour thing. Why is it a 2-hour thing? Because I post and then I get caught up in my timeline. Then I want to go back and see the thing that I just post, how well it's doing. Then I get stuck down somebody's rabbit hole. Then I'm now doing research for my next post. And it's just always 2 hours, period, point blank. Hey, what if you can just hand it off, put all your pictures in the drive with some dope captions, and they can just post it for you. Scheduling calls. Odetta said, so message, don't email Nicole. Hey, man, you can email me, but you got to always CC Irish. Scheduling calls. Any sort of research. This one I love. This is for the researcher in the crew. How many of you have a group of friends and somebody is the person, you are the person who figures out what the best restaurant is, you figure out what the best hotel is, you figure out what the best nightclub is. We have it in my group and we call her admin. She will handle everything start to finish. Don't leave it up to me because we will be at the trash restaurant, someplace I've looked at the last 5 minutes. Okay. How many people have that person in the crew? Y'all got admin in the crew. Any sort of documentation prep that you may need for your life or your business. I'm a big DocuSign person. Any type of documents that I need to sign or send, somebody sends me something to sign, I just hand it off to Irish. Irish, can you run this through DocuSign so that all I got to do is click. I send it, say, hey, run this through DocuSign and add this person on it so that by the time I'm done clicking, it could go directly to them. Invoice prep for those of you who have side businesses. Products or service research. Some of you are researchers. I'm not. But you're probably spending 2 or 3 hours a day researching the best Roomba. And you can literally hand that off to your VA. Hey, what's the best, I don't know, lighting to set up for my recording when I'm recording, going live? What's the best, whatever products you got going on in your life? And some of you will spend hours researching it. I don't. I have friends who research stuff and I piggyback off of their research. I had a friend who spent forever researching some plastic surgery. I didn't get any, but I admired that about them, which you should. You can have a VA do all this. Greeting cards. I am not big on sending out greeting cards because this is not in my personality, but this is something you can hand off to your VA. Here's some more. Building out vacations. Reminders for important dates. Content writing captions, generating captions for social media. If you have a website, maintaining the website. Any sort of outbound call. JD's needs to start soccer. Me and Irish had a conversation yesterday. Hey, did you call the soccer people? I'm not calling them. Waitlisting. If you have anything that you need to be on a wait list for, there is a 4 or 5 month wait list or almost a year wait list for preschools in my area. Guess who put my son on all the wait lists? My VA. Restaurant reservations, any sort of basic recurring online shopping. You could have a spreadsheet or a Google Notes, Google Drive document that you just dump stuff in your online shopping list. And then maybe once a week, your VA goes in and just buys everything for you, deletes it. And next thing you know, it's at your door. All you got to do is just go through your life. Oh, we need toilet paper, put it in there and you know it's handled. Document updates, PowerPoints. If you work with PowerPoint in your job, as long as it's not any sensitive information, listen, I am good for typing up a document, putting a line between each PowerPoint and saying, hey, here, make this a PowerPoint. Like putting a line between each slide. Here, make this a PowerPoint. For those of you who have family meetings, invite your VA, put your VA on speaker call. They will do family meeting minutes because guess what? You know somebody going to say something that they didn't remember that they said. Creating expense reports, any sort of spreadsheet. I'm a spreadsheet queen. Sending flowers, kids' activities. I talk about JD soccer, thank you gifts. None of these things are things you should be doing. All right, let's talk about real estate. So now you've hired your VA is helping to manage your life. Let me just also give you this other rule of thumb, right? If there is something that can be done that doesn't require your presence, even in your personal life, that is something you hand off to your VA. It takes some training to get used to, but that is something you hand off to your VA. I am good for making a voice note, especially if it's something that's kind of complex to type up. I am good for making a voice note and saying, hey, Irish, and I will speak as broken Philly girl English as not as possible, not intentionally, but like, hey, Irish, I had this idea. I need you to do this. Send the voice note. Even when I'm tempted to do it myself, because this is not something that I should be doing. So anything that can be handled virtually that you should be doing, that you shouldn't be doing, that you need to be giving, you can send instructions in a voice note. That's the thing that needs to be outsourced in your personal life. Okay. So for real estate, we're still talking about non-technical. This is still considered non-technical. In order to make this possible, make this as simple as possible, we're going to go through the Burr strategy to break down all the different areas where a VA can help you in this whole entire process. So for those of you who do not know what the Burr process is, let me know. I can give you a brief education towards the end of this. I definitely don't expect any members to say they don't know what the Burr strategy is. Okay, so the first B stands for buy. Getting on wholesalers' email lists, cold calling, finding wholesalers and their deals on social media, pre-qualifying deals. Teaching someone real estate math is very easy. Running comps, email list building, coordinating with wholesalers and boots on the ground peeps to get picks, transaction coordinating. Once you get, you're almost to the closing table, everyone's asking for a bunch of documents, right? Hey, we need your operating agreement. We need your tax document or your EIN document. We need your LLC documents. Hey, we need to get a certificate of good standing. You shouldn't be doing any of that. None of that. This is all admin stuff. Anything that's admin that doesn't require your specialist knowledge, right? Like you don't want your VA going, entering into contracts for you. Do you want them to pre-qualify deals to you? Look at deals all day and send you deals that have been pre-qualified? Yes. That'll get you way more excited about doing real estate than going through a bunch of deals that's 80%, you all in 85% of ARV. Every time you run a math, it's 90%. But what if you had somebody pre-qualifying deals to you, and at the end of the day, they done looked at 100 deals, and now here are 15 really juicy deals that we've pre-qualified. And it's just up to you to look at and say, oh, you know what? That that structure, the structure looks kind of faulty. So that may be more than a 70% deal. No, or I don't really like to invest in that area. Those numbers are good. You did a good job, but I don't really like that area. And so now you just picking and choosing what you want. Okay. Let's talk about the rehab process. Right. So now you bought your property. Now you're in a rehab process. Your VA can coordinate picks and virtual walkthroughs with your contractors. They can find contractors and subs. They can pre-qualify contractors and subs for you. They can provide a short list of contractors. They can update and maintenance rehab software. For those of you who are using software to manage your rehab, they can be doing this, making sure that pictures are there. Hey, you're at work. You knew that something was happening, right? Like, hey, the HVAC just got put in. Can you send pictures? HVAC got put in at 2:00. You in the important meeting. Your VA knows that the HVAC got put in at 2:00. Hey, contact your GC. Hey, can we get pictures? Can you update and make sure the pictures are there before the HVAC guy leaves? Paying expenses. I got to send my VA something right now to pay. I'm not paying it. The guy who's handling this job for me, they need me to get some paint. They're like, here's the number, call over there to pay for the paint. No. I must take a screenshot of the text message, send it on over. You already got my credit card. Can you pay for this out of this account, please? Call these people and pay for this out of this account, please. Creating expense reports, creating spreadsheets, and paying invoices. All right, let's talk about the rent process. Once you get your place rented out or the process of renting the place out, they can pay utilities. They can handle bookkeeping, tracking property management software. They can handle all the paperwork. I don't do most of this stuff with the rent process. I'm just in the intermediary with conversations. Service order dispatch. Okay, the tenant put something in the system. Oh, this leak needs to be fixed. Am I making a phone call? No. My VA sees it. It also goes to, y'all don't have a property management company, the person that handles the day-to-day on a property management company. I just see it. Update property listings. If you post your listings on websites, update property listings. Answering phone calls. If my tenants have any issues, they can either call my property management person or my VA. I'm not answering phone calls. And just overall tenant management. Remember, if it's something that can be done remotely, you should not be doing it. Okay, so when the refinance process comes around, sourcing lenders. Right now, we're in a very unusual rate environment. Even before we were in this unusual rate environment, the lowest lender, the lowest rate lender, the lender with the lowest rate changed every day, even when we were in a 4 or 5% interest rate environment for commercial loans. Changed every day. They can be running the comp report for your appraisal. They can be scheduling the appraisal. When the appraiser comes, when I'm doing a refi and the appraiser comes to me, like, hey, we want to refinance your property. And I'll be really wanting to tell the appraiser, like, I ain't the person. Like, why are you calling me? But I know that most people handle this stuff. So I'm like, here's the number to handle. Okay? Because they got to coordinate it with the tenant. And then you got to have the boots on the ground person to go and look at the property too. Transaction coordinating. Remember, when you're doing a refinance, there's a lot of paperwork flowing back and forth. That most of that stuff should be in a drive that your VA can then send to them when they ask for it. Because I don't need you stopping. This is a $10 an hour task. I don't need you stopping doing your important stuff to handle some paperwork stuff and just overall paperwork management. Okay. And then guess what? That last R is repeat. You don't got to do nothing. Just do a repeat. Put the money, all you got to do is put the money in the account and you get the refi, cash out, refi money. The buy process, start all over again with your VA. Okay. If y'all have questions, let me know in the chat. I'm here to answer your question. Okay. So I was going to insert something. I'll save it though. Let's talk about managing your VA on a day-to-day basis. Actually, I don't want to say it's simple, but it's some simple rules to remember. Setting expectations. You want to have meetings once per week on Zoom with your camera on. I highly recommend that you urge your VA to turn their camera on as well, but you need that FaceTime. Remember, communication is what, 87% nonverbal. You get to build a rapport when you see each other every week. Even if you guys are great communication, y'all communicating in your software, you're emailing, you're using Slack, whatever it is that you're using to communicate, you still need to touch base. How you doing? How are you doing? How is everything going? Are you overwhelmed? Are you underwhelmed? Are you busy? Do you have a lot of free time? Are you okay? How's your health? How's your family? How are you? We are working together on the business of Nicole. I need to know how all my organs are doing. All my appendages are doing. Okay. Next thing, always pay on time. Now, y'all not going to have to worry about this because I'm going to show y'all how you won't have to really worry about this. But I cannot not put this in here because I've heard stories of other people who have VAs who would otherwise would be a good manager of a VA. But the big issue is they didn't pay on time. What if your job didn't pay you on time? You would die. Somebody asked the question, how do you protect your personal info from the VA? Asset security. Everyone always asks this question. Guess what? I get an email every single week about my information, my credit card information being on the dark web. Your VA has your credit card information. The dark web has your credit card information. A bunch of people overseas have your credit card information. Your cousin, who you don't know, got your credit card information. It's okay. Guess what? You have credit cards. If it's fraud, you cancel it. You dispute it and cancel it. And so building this relationship, I'm glad you asked this question in the setting expectations section. Building this relationship, getting on Zoom, this is a trust conversation on a two-way street, right? And so you're going to start giving them more stuff as the trust gets built. You know, you start out with one credit card. Hey, this is my credit card with the high limit, my Amex. They let me do my thing. You only get the Amex. And then as you guys start to build trust, then more information can be exchanged. If something happens, you cancel the credit card. You fire them. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in this entrepreneur game for a long time. I have never heard, not one time, now I know it happens. Don't get it twisted. But I have never heard a story about a VA stealing, harming someone identity-wise. Never, not one time. Next thing about setting expectations, get to know your VA. Get to know them. They are a person. Period. Leadership rules still apply because your VA is a person. Okay? So you still have to maintain good leadership. You can have your VA sign an NDA. Now, what court are you going to, if you need to enforce it, what court are you going to use? Especially if your VA is overseas. You can use the court of that country, but it's going to be expensive. But I will tell you, most people honor oaths when they sign stuff. And so these are not the issues that I hear about being an issue with VAs. The issue is either the biggest issue is lack of leadership on the employer's part. lack of the VA being good, which is still going back to the employer because you didn't do a good job finding VAs. It's not easy finding good quality VAs, and just miscommunication. The next one is you have to reasonably train your VA. This is another issue that I hear people come in with. They hire a VA and they expect the VA to know everything and know how to do everything. You have to train them, 1, to the job, and 2, to your liking. And 3, you got to give it some time. Have I fired a VA in the first week before? Yes. If you know the person ain't working out, cut it short. But if you're not sure, give it some time. Sometimes people, personalities, personalities have to mesh. It's going to be a minute before you become one. Hire slow, fire fast. Thank you. I was going to say that line. I say that line all the time. But yes. Ming said, I use a VA, but do not to the fullest extent because I don't know what to trust them with. They are out of the country, for example. I do give them access to my rental portal. They change my account info and reroute to their account. You might want to start having phone meetings every week over Zoom just to catch up. That will help you to feel more comfortable over time. But you have to do meetings once a week, especially in the beginning. Even if they know everything to do, let's just tap in. What's up? Are you having meetings once a week, Ming? All right, let's go to the next slide while Ming answers that. All right, so let's talk about some software to use. Right, now, I'm gonna put an asterisk. I should put an asterisk next to right. You wanna use any type of productivity software. Let me pause, Ming replied, not face-to-face, no, I don't. That's why you don't trust them, because you don't know them. They're still just, I don't even know. They're still just, they're a person to you, but not. So once you start having meetings face-to-face every week, then you can start to build that trust. Or maybe your spidey senses are telling you that this person is not trustworthy. And then, but you'll learn if you have meetings face-to-face and you're like, I don't like that person. I've seen him enough. I'm going to hire someone else. Okay. Software, productivity software, Rike. I like Rike, but you can use any software that works for you. I like Rike because it's set up the way my brain is set up. I've gone through I've worked with Asana, I've worked with Trello, I've worked with Monday.com, I've worked with, I can't even remember the name of it. Every single solitary one of them. I've test drove all of them. I've been doing this for a long time. Rike is my favorite. But you have to work with the one that's set up like your brain is. Okay, another software that is of the utmost importance is ScreenPal, formerly Screencast-O-Matic. There's one that people use called Loom, where you can screen record. So like, for instance, I work with a good amount of VAs. So I'm working with some other VAs on some other stuff, and I needed to give them some notes. Instead of spending hours typing out instructions, I made a video. I casted my screen. It captures my voice. It can also capture my face to say, hey, I want you to do, and it'll highlight what your mouse is doing on the screen. I don't even know if y'all can see, y'all can't see what my mouse is doing. It'll highlight what your mouse is doing on the screen. If you need to set instructions for something that's going to be done a lot, use Screencast-O-Matic because it's easier for you to get it out. And then it's also, this can be saved, the video can be saved in a database somewhere. So that if the next time your VA goes to do it, if they forget how to do it, they can just watch the video again. Then I got to have a whole bunch of training meetings about the same thing over and over again. James said, do you use ClickUp? I don't know what ClickUp is, but I'm sure I just wanted, me giving these software, these are the softwares that I use, but as time goes on, you'll find different software that will help you based on your needs. Another software is Hubstaff. Hubstaff is the hour tracking, like it tracks the hours. And it also, when they log in, so it's like, remember how you would clock into your job back in the day? You clock in Hubstaff. When they log in, it takes random screenshots of their desktop so that it can ensure that they are working during that time frame. DocuSign, DocuSign should be on its own line. DocuSign helps out a lot with everything, right? Like you got these complicated documents and this person needs to sign their leases or whatever the case may be. Hey, my VA, sometimes putting stuff in DocuSign is a pain in the butt. My VA will do that. Dropbox, Google Drive, you need to have a shared place with documents. I have both, but I'm finding myself using more and more Google Drive for obvious reasons, right? Like the documents are updated real time and all that good stuff. I have folders with all of my property documents and spreadsheets for all my properties all in there, so nobody has to ask me anything. All right, how much did your VA cost? I meant to put this slide somewhere else. Doesn't matter. Part-time, $10 to $13 an hour. Full-time, $9 to $12 an hour. It used to be a lot cheaper, but the world has changed. We're more global. COVID, inflation. When COVID happened, everybody needed a VA. People got VAs. It got a little more expensive. It's still most likely less than what you make at your job. Okay. I don't know why I have this slide here, but I do know why I have this slide here. I wanted to prove that you can hire a VA for the cost of a target run. This is not something that's super expensive. This is not something that is out of this world. Yeah, I know target runs can get expensive, but most of the time when you go to Target, you got a whole bunch of tchotchkes in there anyway, stuff you don't need. Okay, now here's the biggest problem. How to hire your VA. Hiring a VA is very difficult, especially if you want to get the most bang for your buck. So you're going to go to another country and it's not easy. I know I made so many mistakes hiring VAs, a lot of mistakes, and lost a lot of money hiring VAs because I didn't know what I was doing. Right? So introducing, in order to help you guys out, I started a staffing agency. I've been working on this for a while now, and I'm always working on stuff to help BTS members. BTS Staffing Agency. We help you run the business of you, not off you. We help you run the business of you so you can have more time and energy to invest in real estate. After running BTS for so long and having conversations with you and really getting to see where you guys are struggling the most, this is one of the biggest areas where you're struggling and why you're not able to move as quickly as you can, especially for those of us who have kids. And so here is the solution. Let me tell you how it works. Our VAs are certified, BTS certified. What does that mean? You get VAs that are already trained in the basics of real estate. So you don't have to teach them basic stuff. They are trained in parallel with the core values and education of the Better Than Success Real Estate League. So they will know the basics. You want someone to run comps. You want someone to run pre-qualify a deal, to analyze a deal. They will know how to do this. We have technical and non-technical VAs. All of our VAs are BTS certified. I'm smiling at your comment. Yes, I know. And when I told y'all when we had that meeting, y'all gave me some ideas and I went back to my team and we worked some things out. Okay. All right, so there's 3 levels. That was the takeaway. Yes, and I made it cheaper too. Let's talk about it in a minute, Odrada. So there's 3 service levels for non-technical VAs. Yes. Thank y'all for the fireball. I know. 3 service levels. Oh, well, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me come back to this slide. All right. Here are the 3 service levels for non-technical VAs, which is what most of you will need. And I'll tell y'all what technical means for you. Like, what is technical? Y'all trust me, a lot of y'all won't need it. Some of you will. Some of you will want them. But most of you won't. So we have line support level. This is for 10 hours per week. This is for you newbies who are like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. 45 hours per month maximum. Then for those of you who are like, I got lots going on. I know my VA, I want my VA available often. 20 hours per week, 90 hours per month max. And then Royal Support Level, this is a full-time VA, like Irish, she's full-time, 40 hours per week, 180 hours per month maximum. Okay. So the question is pricing. I'm going to tell you, it is expensive, but doesn't matter. Let's roll into the pricing. For the Lion Support Level, it's $499 setup. We have to go and find the VA for you. And then after that, it's $599 monthly fee. So for $600 every month, you can have somebody handle all this stuff so you can focus on really doing the real estate stuff. They can handle your life, and so you can spend a whole 10 hours and they can just be analyzing deals and giving you feeding you fire deals every day at the end of the day and help you get through the closing table and help you do your Burr, all that stuff. So you can have time, because you don't have time. I just gave you a whole entire schedule where we blew through all our hours, and we only had 2 hours per day left, and we didn't even spend time with our boo or have me time. Okay. Then we've got Monarch Support Level. That's $499 setup fee, $10.99 per month. That's 20 hours per week or 90 hours per month max. Then the Royal Support Level full-time, $500 setup fee, and then $17.99 per month. So yes, it's not cheap, but it's cheap. Now, when we did this before, I had to work out some stuff with the pricing. Remember, we were saying it was substantially more expensive than this. I don't know if y'all remember. But we got the pricing down when I did this before. That's why I'm so glad I did this specifically with BTS members, because I was able to finagle some things and move a bunch of things around, because I was like, we need this just to be cheaper. And so it's substantially cheaper than it was before. With that being said, so the way that it works, so you might be asking, okay, so the way that it works is you pay $499 to start the process. Once we match you with your VA, before the VA starts working, like, so you've decided, hey, this is the VA I want, before the VA starts working, you pay upfront for the month in hours. So once you match with your VA, that's when your monthly fee starts. Okay. You do have an option within 2 weeks. If you're like, within 2 weeks, I don't like this person, we can swap out. If you, after 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you don't like this person, you can absolutely swap out, but you'll still have those weeks that you've already paid for that month. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, I'm trying to get all the questions that you guys will have already out. Let's talk about the process, right? First, we're going to determine your needs and tasks for the virtual assistant. Write a clear job description with the required skills and experience. We advertise the job on various platforms. Then we review applicants and resumes. We conduct interviews and assess suitability. We present potential candidates for you. You make the final decision on hiring. Yes, you make the final decision. We discuss and negotiate employment terms with the chosen virtual assistant. We provide necessary information and tools for the virtual assistant. We conduct a thorough onboarding process. So we are here to support you in this onboarding process. We maintain regular communication and evaluate the performance. So as long as you are with us, you have the support. Okay. Again, the price of target. Okay. So I did want to briefly talk about the technical VAs. For those of you who need, like, people who really know specific things, these are also BTS certified. So the non-technical VAs are BTS certified. They are in alignment with core values. They are in alignment with how we do things, how we analyze deals, how we find deals, all that stuff. The technical VAs, BTS certified, but we have digital marketing specialists, we have web and graphic design specialists, sales and lead specialists. So for those of you who need closers, transaction coordinating specialists. And if you want a VA, we have the 20-hour version. If you want a technical VA, we have a 20-hour version and a 40-hour version. We do not have a 10-hour version for that. And the pricing is available upon request. You can email me and say, hey, I'm interested in one of those. And then we can have some meetings and figure out exactly what it is that you want. Here are some other FAQs. After 6 months, this is critical. Because let me just tell y'all what my goal of this is. My goal is to make sure you get a good relationship with the VA. Like, I want you to have a Nikki Irish situation. After 6 months, if you really, really like your VA, or after a year, but at the minimum of 6 months, if you really, really like your VA, you can buy your VA out. You can buy your VA out for $1,000. And then you now deal one-on-one with your VA. But keep in mind, this may need to be a full-time situation. Like, you got to negotiate a lot of stuff. So if you're going to buy them out, you might need to pay for them full-time, but it might be cheaper. And you will have the other FAQ, I talked about this, you will have our support. And if you're like, hey, I don't like this person, I want to swap with somebody else, you have that option as well. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have questions? I can unmute you. I can let you. Oh, Dada said, can you explain the swap out again? So for the first 2 weeks, so you pay up front, right? You pay for the month up front. For the first 2 weeks, if you don't like them, you won't lose any hours. You won't be forced any, we'll swap you out with a new person. You won't lose any hours. If after 2 weeks, we're still going to be in support with you. If you're at like month 3 and you're like, yo, I do not fool with this joker, I would like to get someone else. You have to finish out. Like, so let's say, so you paid for the month, you pay at the beginning of the month or the beginning of the month cycle. And then like 15 days in, you want to swap out. You still have to pay for the rest of that month for that person, but you can still get another VA, but that will start a new cycle. Hopefully that makes sense. Awesome. Does anybody else have any other questions? I have a surprise for y'all too. So don't go. What is the matching criteria? What you want versus what the VA can do. But honestly, most of you guys, I'm assuming most of you guys have the same, like most of these VAs are already trained to your needs. If you're going to do a non-technical VA, even the technical ones, right? They're already trained to your needs unless you have something wild. Like, I pretty much know what most of you guys are doing investing wise. But it really all depends on your personal tasks and your lifestyle setup. Once we conduct the interview and find out what it is that you need, then we can go and match. But it really it depends, but it doesn't. Like, unless you might have something wild, or you might have something very specific. You might have some personality traits that you specifically know that you're looking for. And we can then go in and match. Oh, Dada said, when will this roll out? Guess when it's rolling out. Guess. Today. So I have a surprise for you guys, but I want to get all the questions. What other questions y'all got for me? How do you get over feeling like, never mind, I'll do it, instead of explaining how the VA can fix it? That makes me feel like explaining is just as much as time as me doing it. Knowing that it may take a minute, 2 minutes, 30 minutes extra to explain it today, but after you explain it today, you never have to do it again. That's how you get over it. Also, it's a matter of like bossing up, right? Every time you say, never mind, I'll do it, you're not bossing up. Like, you have to understand, I don't have no business doing this. Like, and that's why a lot of times when I go through this and I explain to y'all, and this is by no means a knock against, y'all know I have the utmost respect for Irish and Carlene. Y'all know I do. So it is no mean when I say like, I ain't doing this. It's no mean a knock against them. It's really a way of me checking myself to say, I have no business doing this. None whatsoever. And so in order for me to get that through my head, I have to be like, I ain't doing this. And that's how I have to like treat it, to force myself, because I don't have business doing this, right? Like, if you want to make, let's say you have some income goals, if you want to make, you break your income goals down, it's like, oh, it ends up being $1,000 an hour. You can't make $1,000 an hour if you're doing $10 an hour tasks. It's not possible. And so you always, every time it's something, especially when I think about sitting at my computer, every time I think about sitting at my computer, I think about, do I have to do this? From a competency level, as well as from a capability level. Do I have to do this? There are certain things, like I'm reworking a lot of things, pivoting a lot in my business right now. And I had a meeting with Irish yesterday, just because I didn't want to overwhelm her when I told her everything. So I'm keeping her along the process of my thoughts. And so we had a meeting, and in this meeting, I revealed this document that I created. Like, she couldn't do this document. I could have talked my way through it. She couldn't do this document. Something I need to do. It's some other things I need to write out that only I can do. Odetta said, I heard something that shifted my mindset because I have a type A personality. When something is presented to me, instead of how can I do this thing, who can do this? I'm not perfect in this mindset, but yet it is shifting. Yes. Who can do this? That's how, like, for real, that's how I think. Like, who can do this? I ain't doing it at all. And this is not just for real estate. This is in your life. That is the part that I really want you to think about. Like, this is in your life. The world, social media will have you thinking that you should be doing certain tasks when you should not. You just shouldn't. Like, I follow this a while ago. I'm on social media a lot less. I follow this woman who's got this huge business, and she made, I think it was just probably had to have been just for the purpose of making content. And she was it was a cute content. She got a cute body, so she's throwing her little booty around. She's cleaning up her house, and I'm like, and this house is clearly a multi-million-dollar house. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, are you kidding me? But I'm hoping it was just for making content. Like, I'm truly hoping. Will the NDA and VA contact will be with BTS or the VA? Both. You ain't got to worry about me. Contract. Understood. The contract will be with BTS. The contract will be with BTS. They already have NDA signed, but you can have another one signed. It's perfectly fine. But the contract will be with BTS. And that's what I was talking about, the buyout. You can buy us out, and then you can have your own contract with, you can start your own business working relationship with the VA. And I'll even give you, like, if you may need some extra software, payment software, I can tell you all that stuff so you can handle all that yourself. Any other questions? All right, let's get to the meat and potato. For those of you who are interested, all of you are interesting. For those of you who are interested, sign up for BTS Staffing at btsstaffingagency.com. If you want 10% off, if you are not member of BTS, 10% off, it expires. You will not get 10% off of the sign-up fee. Today only, use code Nicole Rocks at checkout. So you go to the website, I'll pull up the website for you, and then you go to pricing, you choose the option that you want, and it takes you to the page. You add it to your cart, check out, use Nicole Rocks, get 10% off of the sign-up fee. So we find your VA and everything for $400. And then if you do the 10 hours per week option, it's just $600 a month to handle all your little stuff. Trust me, it's worth it. Trust me. Members, how many members are here and looking to sign up? Who is looking to sign up? I want to also just remind you, we talked about this early in this presentation. I want to also just remind you that you cannot go on living like this, trying to do a million things in the course of a day, a week, thinking that you're going to come out, you're going to be able to get to the real estate stuff without sacrificing something massively important, like your health or your relationship or your children. This is utterly critical for you to be able to live the life that you need to live. Be in your purpose. I think somebody put it in the chat, being in your purpose. I'm looking for a comment. I saw it. Does this offer end at midnight? It does. I mean, you can always sign up. You won't get the discount. Cinderella-ish. Y'all will drag your feet. And I only be doing that because y'all will drag your feet. You know why I know y'all will drag your feet? Because I'll be dragging my feet. You got to put a fire under my butt. Does anybody have any questions? Who's signing up? Who's getting their VA? Who's getting out of their own way? Who needs more time to think? What's the pricing in the hours again? Let's go back to that. Irish said the code for members already posted in the group chat. You need time. What do you need time? What's your real question that you're asking yourself, Elle? James, what do you need? What's your question that you guys are asking yourself about? Is you need more time to make the decision, or you just need more time because you need more time to get your finances together? Or you're like, I'm not sure if this is a thing. Let me know. The financial piece. Oh, you remember. You know I look out for you. James said finances. How much time do you need, Elle and James? Especially if y'all members. Y'all know I'll take care of y'all. I really, the next time I do this presentation, I want to show a chart because I want to show, like, every time I have struggled with achieving a goal in life, and Irish can attest to it. I come up with I always start with scheduling. I always work a new schedule because I have to then analyze how am I spending my time, right? So if it's taking you longer to achieve a goal, a lot of times we don't make the connection with where am I putting my efforts? How am I spending my time? Like really analyzing how I'm spending my time and my results. And usually when I don't achieve the goals that I'm trying to achieve, it's because I'm not allocating my time properly. And so then I start working on a new schedule. And so what I'm saying is you're not making a connection with, hey, you're getting frustrated because you're not doing what you need to do in real estate, but your schedule is impossible for you to get to where you need to get to over here. Right? Elle, I saw your amazing son. You spend a lot of time with your son, that's how I do with my son. I want my son to be all bright and smart like that. Okay. That's why I spend so much time with him. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it if I didn't have a VA. I'm very controlling, hands-on of my business. Not sure if I will be comfortable giving up so much to strangers. It's do or die. It's do or die. Unless you're comfortable with the level that you're at right now, you cannot go to the next business until you start learning how to delegate. Honestly, this is probably the cheapest way to start learning how to delegate. Right? Like the thing that you are avoiding doing is the thing that you need to do most. This is the cheapest, easiest way to learn how to start delegating. Why are you so hands-on of your business? No good business person is hands-on of their business. Elle said, yes, I gave up a lot of time with my son during the rental process. If you had a VA, I promise you, you wouldn't have had to give up that much time. A lot of the stuff that you were doing was probably admin work that your VA could have been doing. And so it's water under the bridge, but the next time around, like that's not sustainable for the type of son that you have. The special ones, right? The real smart ones, the ones that's like, listen, I got to keep you right here, right up under me. That's not sustainable, but you got to do the real estate for him. So T, back to you. I'm very controlling, hands into my business. Not sure if I would be comfortable giving up so much. You have no choice. The thing that you dread doing is the thing you need to do the most. What if Jeff Bezos said, I'm not comfortable with giving up. I will need to be hands-on. About 75 things in the room you sitting in probably wouldn't have if it wasn't for Amazon. You got to let that go. I do not assist with those programs because there's millions of programs. You have to choose the one that works best for you. I will say the beautiful thing about the programs is they all have a million training videos on the internet. So whatever I would create is something that's already created anyway for data. There's a million training. That is not something you would need to train them on. You just need to Google how to do this and then just send them that video. There's so many training videos on all of them. Is BTS membership still available? Absolutely. Do I have a discount for you to use? Is it a deadline on the discount? Absolutely. And I'm putting the link right here, Tiffany. You should join ASAP because I'm not telling everybody this. Thank you, Irish. And I'll give you a discount. Can you give Tiffany the discount for, if you use code Nicole, you got to use it by Friday to get 30% off. There you go, Tiffany. The other thing is I'm about to go up on the membership price by a lot, like a lot. It's gonna be the biggest jump. I've been praying on this. It's gonna be the biggest jump. Then the beautiful thing is members that are already members, I'll never go up on price on y'all. So Tiffany, you should choose the annual option. It's the best value, and I'll never go up on the price for you, but I'm about to go up like a lot. The reason I'm about to go up by a lot is because I'm about to add some new features in BTS to make it even more dummy proof. I'm about to improve the AI mentor. We got a kickoff meeting on Friday to improve the AI mentor. For those of you who don't know, we have an artificial intelligent real estate mentor that caters to your situation to give you the right proper information to help you and spoon feed you along the way for investing in real estate. Plus, we do a whole bunch of other stuff. The moral of the story is I'm about to add a lot of features. That AI mentor is just one of many features we're about to improve on. And it's going to be about $5,000 a year because I focus my membership to help you increase your net worth. I'm reading that message that Iris sent me. That's why I'm reading talking so slow. The whole goal is everything is in place so that you increase your net worth by at least $100,000 in your first year, and you get in your first property in 90 days. So I have no problem with saying this is 100% what we do. With that being said, if I can increase your net worth by $100,000, you need to be paying $5,000 a year for that. That's the value of it. It's fair, overly fair exchange. And I can speed up the process. And when you get your first deal. So I say all this to say, you can get in for $1,400 today. Thank you, Raji. Thank you. Irish, that code is for, no, you misread. That code is for 10% off for the staffing agency. So let me go here. If you're not a member and you want to sign up for our staffing agency to get a VA, it's 10% off the setup fee. And then members, you get 25% off of the setup fee. The discount, Raji, is for monthly, it's for yearly and monthly, but for monthly, it's just for your first term for the membership. So if you do it monthly, it's $229 a month, and you get 30% off of $229, which is your first month. So that's why I said you get the best value for the annual, because it's 30% off the whole entire year. Okay. +2, just FYI, for those of you who are in LA, I'm doing an event in LA for members. It's for members and non-members. And then we got some events in Philly coming up soon too. Elle said, yes, the membership is definitely worth it. Thank you so much, Elle. I appreciate you. Tiffany, you see that down there? Elle said, pull up, Tiff. Elle said, pull up, Raji. He said, I concur. Thank you. Thank you so much. They are not plants. All right, see. You better hope I don't go up on the price then. Somebody said they want to reactivate their membership. That says a lot. Just non-members. Someone said they want to reactivate their membership. They was a member. They had to take some time off. They pull them back up. Elle said, better get in there before the plan increase. I had a series of meetings with myself. We're going to $5,000 a month. I mean, $5,000 a year. $5,000 a month would be lovely. No, the code for Odata, the code for members is in the group chat. I can't put the code here. Iris just put the code in the group chat. The 25% off. No problem. I'll check out that FAQ section. But that's why I'm here today. We just launched it today. I was kind of rushing everybody to get it done, because we're spending all our time working out the details of making it cheaper for y'all. Because remember, it was like $2,000. I'm excited for you, Odata. Yes, we're gonna get you a bomb VA. So you just spend more time with them babies and building wealth. Does anybody have any other questions for me? Got any questions? Denisha, Devante, Raji, Ryan, Terry, Ty, Tiff, Tim, all these T's. I said the FAQ works. Just click on the side of each question, not on the question, because it won't be clicked. Thank you. I'll tell them they probably should swap it out for another widget thingy if it don't work like that, if it don't work right. If it don't work the way you think that it should work. Anybody else have any other questions for me? I'm here to, let me just say this. Oh, that means a lot to me. Okay, all right, hold on. Let me read these questions. I was gonna say a closing note, but I'm gonna hold it. Okay, Elle said, I love the fact that you took our suggestions and tweaked the VA service. I'm really here for y'all. Like, I'm not lying. I'm here for y'all. I'm here for y'all. Y'all saw, hopefully you saw the look at my face. I was like, I don't want to make that changes. I'm here for y'all. If y'all have any changes you want me to make, we're gonna make them. I'm always trying to just, like, y'all don't know how passionate I am about all of this. I'm so passionate about this. Not even a game. And by this, I mean, I'm passionate about making the impossible possible in terms of all these things that we naturally want as humans. Like, we want to leave our kids stuff. These are things that are natural to us. We want to leave our children better. We want to leave an inheritance to our children's children. We want to live in our purpose, and I'm so passionate about it. Odata, can you upgrade to different levels as your need? Yes, ma'am. You sure can. That's the goal. Amen. Elle said, come on, Raji, though. Come on in. The water is fine. I loved it. Thank you, Elle. Raji, Irish posted the link in there for you. I'm sure you saw it. Anonymous said, how many rentals should I have before a VA to be necessary? 0. That's what I'm saying. In order for you to really get to the rentals, you got to have somebody help manage your life. So I suggest starting off with the 10 hours per week option. And it's a really good way for you to get acclimated with your VA so that by the time you do have your rentals, well, first you can free up your time so you can get the rentals. Then by the time you get to the rentals, you and your VA already work really well. so that they can help you manage your rentals. Or really manage the whole entire process of you getting the rentals, right? If you're going to be burring. If you're not burring, if you're just buying turnkey, you still need somebody to help you out with that stuff. Because I'm gonna tell you, I used to, when I was single, I mean, like, and Ming, I don't know if Ming's still here. Ming doesn't have any children. I used to be exhausted then too. So it's not just the kids that's making us exhausted. It's American grind culture. Like, I now more understand why in Spain and Europe, they like work 4 hours a day, because this is the only way to live and have a life. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I work like 5 hours a day. I got 2 days where I work 8 hours, but 3 days a week, I only work 4 or 5 hours. And it's not because I'm chilling. It's because I got all this other stuff to do. Okay. All right. Y'all got any other questions for me? Dang, I had a whole heart message that I wanted to give y'all. And I don't know why my camera acting weird all of a sudden. Give me a second, y'all. Keeps taking me out of focus. Okay, that's better. One sign up move should be expecting the onboarding tomorrow. Someone's gonna call you tomorrow and start the whole entire process. Tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Odada. Welcome. And L and James, I think it was. Yes. Y'all know I got y'all. Whenever y'all are ready, hopefully y'all get ready. Y'all be ready soon. You know, always be giving BTS members discounts. I got y'all. Don't worry. Thank you so much, C. And for those of you who are thinking about it, you're just like really realizing this, what I want you to understand, while you don't have a VA, stop beating yourself up for not achieving your goals, because this thing is set up to keep your mind preoccupied. You would talk about how, like, yeah, we got all this time doing this other stuff, but then you got social media, keeping your mind off of what you need to be doing. All that. You can reach out to Elle, you can reach out to me and Irish. We'll both help you. All right, everyone. If y'all need me, y'all know where to find me. I love you all. I want y'all to have a great night. And for those of you who are in LA, I will see y'all tomorrow at the gathering spot. Thank you. Bye.